So this is something that I really enjoy making is techno. Nowadays I don't do too much techno because I'm not doing too many the videos that I do more is more live streams, and then the clips from the live stream. That's what I usually do nowadays. And I'm more focused on different projects that I have working on, music projects that I'm working with other people, and that takes a lot of time. And to be honest, I really enjoy them. And yeah, so techno is something that I really enjoy, and there are a couple of things that we can play around when doing techno. So there are at least two basses or two types of basses. One is very elongated notes. So you have a note that plays, let's say, A until always, you know, and maybe some variations, or you can do some rolling basses where you have a very sharp and fast bass to do that. So let's jump into FL Studio so that I can maybe show you what I mean. So let's bring up here some kicks just for reference. I have techno kicks here. Let's go with minimal. I like this one here, kick amber. Let's go with amber. Let's go maybe 127, 26. Where is the amber one? Here. Let's play this one all for 4 bars, like so. Okay, so now we have a nice techno kick. To do what I like to do whenever I'm doing like a very solid basses, I like to do with 3x oscillator. As you might know, this is my favorite plugin to make basses, and I basically have this type of sound, and if I play something, you see this is a very deep and aggressive bass. And of course I apply a low pass filter, and we can have some really deep basses. So I think in this case D sounds really cool. So what I would do here, I would just put a note here, or E. Something like this, maybe add a little bit more low pass. Okay, so first, and then this is what I would do, and then go to the mixer and do some sidechain here, sidechain to this track, and sidechain the kick with the bass. So where is dynamics, limiter here, and do something like this, ratio, very high ratio, and then let's do a fast release. So something like this. This would be one of my go-to basses for techno. A very solid or a single note with the kick. Let me maybe make this kick a little bit shorter. Something like that would work. Let me see here. Yeah, we have a shorter kick. Okay, I like that. So this would be one of the ways I would do a techno bass line. The next one would be take this one and maybe add, there's a nice plugin called, I think it's Harmor. Yeah, I think it's this one, yeah. You must have the full FL Studio version, but I really like this one here, this analog bass. It's very techno sounding bass. And for this one I would do what I told you, like the rolling bass. And to do a rolling bass, it's very simple. You just make maybe 3 notes all together like this. Maybe let's make them shorter like that, and let's copy this over And we can probably make another one here and make them shorter. Actually, we could go like this. This would simulate kind of techno rumble on the kick. Okay. And at this point is all about the velocity that you use. And for instance, we could even go maybe higher or lower, maybe lower. Okay, something like that, or even lower like this. Okay, I like that. Let's copy this over. Okay, and now we have a rolling bass. We could also do some side chain. Maybe a little bit less aggressive. And of course, we could then add maybe some hi-hats. Let's go with the 808 preset. Close hi-hats, let's see. Where is the close hi-hat? Okay. Add the hi-hat there on the half beat. Okay, in this case maybe I would also add some EQ to reduce a little bit of the high end. And now we have a very simple techno bass line. And this would be a nice starting point to start making the rest of the track. And of course we could go, let's go maybe to a different bass. This one sounds good. And as you can see, after you have the main pattern down, it's just a matter of playing around with the notes or the sounds, the presets. This one sounds cool. I already did a track with this one here, with this preset, sequence or die. And as you can see, it sounds very techno. And for instance, you could actually use this like this instead of a bass and have the bass here. So you could actually use this type of rolling stuff to get more than just bass lines. Let's bring this down. And you can also combine both bass lines. I don't think we are in bass lines anymore. So this is how I would do some of these bass lines for techno. Of course, you can always do something different. Like you can play around instead of doing like the rolling bass. You can, instead of doing like rolling all the time, you could do something different like, let's see. Let's go one octave down. Okay, let's go maybe like this. Just playing around with the length of the notes. Maybe here can have something like this. And here maybe a little bit more, or I could add a longer one to have some type of different effect. We could also do some slide notes. Maybe on this bass would not be the most impressive thing. Slide notes. Let's see in this one here at the end. Boom. That could work. Maybe like this. Something like that. I don't know. This is just experimentation. But at the end, it's just a little bit of experimenting. Of course, getting some different basses. There's a nice plugin also, the Sower, that has some really cool basses that could work for this also. But I would say the most techno basses, this one sounds cool, would be the Armor, or maybe what was the one? Toxic Biohazard. This could be also a good one. But again, this is for basses. Another thing that I have here that to be honest, I don't use too much is my TD3, which is a synth that I have here on my desk to make basses. This is from Behringer. This is also a cool tool to have because you can make some really cool, dope basses with this one. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, making basses is like making music. I can give you some tools, I can give you some tips, but it will depend on your inspiration, your technique, and on the style of music you want to do. But basically, this is how I start when I want to make some techno tracks. I make a kick, and then I play around with variation, making the notes shorter, longer, playing them very fast. That's the thing about techno. Usually, you have some really fast basses, and or you can have also just a single note with some side chain, some pumping, to give you that moving forward movement of the pump. And this is also a very cool effect to have, and it can really make your track move your track forward with the bass. And of course, then you have the rest of the production to do. And yeah, I hope that answered the question.